Today I want to talk about some fragrances that when I initially smelled them, I was not impressed, but after revisiting them after some months or years or whatever, I've definitely come around to them. So let's get started. First up, we've got Petra by Lattafa. So this one, when I first smelled it, I just thought it smelled really weird. It really punches you in the face. Like, this is a spicy, really boozy type of scent. It opens up with rum followed by plum, and I feel like those notes really dominate the fragrance. When I first smelled it, I just thought it smelled like it had too much going on, like it was all over the place and didn't know what it was trying to be. I don't know what has changed, but now it really gives me Portugal, Lisbon vibes. And that's probably also due to the packaging itself of those, blue and white ceramic type of tiles that you always see in Portugal. I feel like it smells like that country. That warm air with a sweet booziness in the air. And even though there's no lemon in this fragrance, for some reason, the way that I get the plum with the rum, it always makes me think that there's some kind of lemon in this. This actually pairs very well with Victoria from Lattafa. If you're not familiar with Victoria, it is the fragrance that is inspired by Devotion by Dolce & Gabbana. That's gonna be a candied lemon fragrance with panna cotta and vanilla, and it just makes it a lemony, boozy, gourmand type of scent profile that I think is phenomenal. But whenever people tell me, I hate Petra, I don't get it, like, I totally understand that because I was right there with you, my friend. But I don't know, something about this fragrance has changed for me, or I've changed, and now I totally understand why some people find it to be a very addictive, boozy, sharp, deep, sweet, and sexy type of fragrance. This also has notes of tuberose and coconut in the heart. I don't really get too much of that until it really starts to dry down more. It's really the rum and the plum that kind of dominate the overall scent profile for me. So that could be what is off-putting to some people as well. I know coconut, but even more so tuberose, can really be polarizing depending on how it's done in a fragrance. Next up, we've got Qahwa. This is an original fragrance by Lattafa, although a lot of people do compare it to Angel Share. I wouldn't say that it smells identical to Angel Share. It's definitely not a one-to-one dupe, but it's the same style of fragrance. So I think if you like Angel Share, if you like Khamrah, you have a high probability of liking the other one. But anyways, when I first got this fragrance, I actually got it after the original Khamrah. Khamrah still has that, spicy, sweet, just fall air in a bottle type of scent profile. But the original Khamrah is a lot sweeter than Qahwa, in my opinion, and it lacks this added coffee note that Qahwa has. So when I first smelled Qahwa, I just felt like it was going to be way too masculine leaning for me. I remember smelling it with my husband and being like, okay, so Qahwa is gonna be for you, and I'm gonna wear Khamrah, the original, and that'll be like our his and her fragrances because this is way too masculine, I could never wear it. And over time, as I started to smell Qahwa more and would compare it to the original Khamrah, what I realized is that Qahwa has way better projection and longevity than the original Khamrah. And the original Khamrah, to me, when in comparison to Qahwa, lacks the depth that I really enjoy that the coffee note adds in Qahwa. So now it's, you can use Qahwa, but she's mine as well. I really enjoy this scent. I still understand if some people feel like this one is a bit masculine leaning. I think if you were to compare it to the original one, it's definitely gonna be more masculine leaning because of that extra darkness that is added from the coffee. But I 100% think that it is truly a unisex scent and really gorgeous. Big fan of this one. Can't believe I used to ever not appreciate it. Next up, we've got Opulent Dubai. Yes, I too used to not like Opulent Dubai. This, for the same reason that I didn't like Qahwa. I thought that this was too masculine in the beginning. It does open up with this very sweet mango that is just so addictive. But when I first smelled it, I just felt like it had a lot of masculine cologne energy, and it still kind of does. Like, it does have a lot of woodiness in the overall fragrance, and as the fragrance continues to dry down, the sweetness definitely becomes more muted, even though it does still stay evident in the fragrance more so than even the original or Folk and Faux, which is another, really popular dupe for the original God of Fire. The mango definitely does become more and more muted. But I don't know, again, what has happened. I think just as I continue to acquire more and more fragrances, my tolerance for so-called masculine scents just tends to become wider. Even though I can still detect the woodiness, the slightly masculinity in this fragrance, I find that it makes it even better. It's not just your typical sweet mango fragrance that I feel kind of plays it too safe. I really enjoy the complexity and the interestingness of a sharp, sparky, spunky, woody note alongside the mango. I think it makes it feel extravagant and just phenomenal. So big fan of Opulent Dubai. This is a sweet summer fragrance to me. This is a fragrance where if I'm going somewhere in the summertime and I want a really, sweet, mango-y fragrance, but I want to feel elevated and still elegant and a little bit bougie, Opulent Dubai is that girl for me. Next up, we've got Lorre Du Bois by Jack Faith Essentials. I am so glad that I waited before I made a video on this because I was gonna roast this perfume and I would have been so wrong to do so because this is such an interesting, mature, sophisticated scent. And when I say mature, I don't mean old lady mature, but I do mean I would not expect a teenager or even someone in their early 20s to want to wear this. This just feels like wisdom in a bottle. I know that might sound weird. To me, this is like a dry, honeyed, yellow floral type of fragrance with a very smooth base of amber and cinnamon and saffron, along with cashmere, sandalwood, cumin, musk, and honey. It's fantastic. It just has like the best warm, smooth type of scent profile that I now find to be so addictive. I'm so sad that I didn't find this in fall or winter time because I do feel like it's a bit too warm for me to wear in spring or summertime. I could wear it on a crisp spring day, but in like even 75 and up weather, no, it wouldn't be for me for that kind of day. This is a cooler day kind of scent. That's when I would want to smell this and just continue to breathe it in from like a cashmere type of sweater. It's warm, it's cozy, you get sweetness from the honey, but it's not overly sweet. The amber and all of those woody notes, the cumin to me are blended so well. It's not overly spicy, even though you get cinnamon and saffron. I don't know if I've ever had a family member who has worn anything like this, but this reminds me of like an elder, someone that you respect, someone that you think smells really good. But again, not old lady floral good, but they have like maybe they're a librarian and they have a room or library in their home that has a whole bunch of old school leather bound dusty books in an attic, and they spend most of their time there, but they also drink a tea that has honey in it with a little bit of spice. And when you go over to their house to meet them, you go home smelling like this: amber, warm cinnamon with something that is just old and comforting in it. Really, really interesting scent. And best of all, guys, the only reason why I even know about this fragrance is because it was so ridiculously cheap on fragrance.net. I really think it was listed for like less than 40 bucks. And this is not like a Middle Eastern dupe or anything. This is a fragrance that I believe is made in Paris. I don't know why it's so affordable. I don't know too much about the brand. All I know is that this is phenomenal and I'm looking into more fragrances from this brand. So if you want to try something interesting and you think that that scent profile might fit you, definitely recommend checking out Lorre Du Bois. Next up, we have something from the house of Versace, Crystal Noir. This really, when I initially smelled it, just made me say, what the hell is everyone so crazy about this scent for? This smells awful. I can't believe anybody would want to smell like this. Ew, 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 ew. This legitimately, I think, took me about a solid 3 to 4 months to finally come around to. And it's the opening of this fragrance, I really think can make or break a lot of people's first impressions of it because it's so spicy and not what I would expect from a designer fragrance house. The 3 opening notes are pepper, ginger, and cardamom. Like, that's not trying to be anyone's friend. That is spicy on spicy, but it's like a fresh spicy, like a dark, fresh, spicy scent that you wouldn't think would smell good. And maybe when you first smell it, you might not think it smells good, but I don't know. I think it's just the dry down and how complex and interesting it is, the freshness of the scent. It really comes off like a very sophisticated, dark, unique fragrance. And again, very surprised by Versace that they, to me, took a risk with this type of DNA because I would not consider this to be a safe blind buy. I wouldn't even really consider it to be mass appealing. I've heard a lot of people, really crap all over the perfume because of everything that I just described, right? It's not your typical fruity floral with some musk in the base. It's very different, but I really think they did a phenomenal job with this. And if you don't like it, I would recommend trying it on your skin and just seeing how it smells. Go to the store, try it on your wrist and see how you think it wears over time, because this is a scent that really, in my opinion, gets better and better over time. You get that coconut and gardenia in the heart of the fragrance, and eventually it dries down to even more of a sandalwood, musky, amber base. Like, it's truly, truly beautiful. And even though it's so spicy and everything, I definitely think that this is a year-round scent. So if you're looking for something that I would consider to be unique, but still from a designer line, Versace Crystal Noir. Gorgeous. Next up, we've got Vanille Blanc by Cudallage. This is a fragrance that if you've watched my channel, you've heard me talk about ad nauseum. I always talk about this scent because I really like it. And when I'm doing my TikTok lives and people ask me, what's a really nice vanilla? This is one of the ones that I always bring up and mention because it's so good. Is it the most unique DNA in the world? Absolutely not. And that was why I didn't like it initially. It was being very, very hyped up and people were crowning it as the best vanilla release of the year. And I think when we're saying things like that, we should be specific with our words, like the best vanilla dupe of the year, right? Because I don't think a fragrance that is duping another fragrance that has already come out should be considered like the best. I don't know, that just doesn't make sense to me. But I do consider this to be one of the better Middle Eastern twist dupe fragrances that have come out recently. This is inspired by, in my opinion, there is debate, right? There's always debate on what a dupe is actually inspired by. In my opinion, to my nose, this is inspired by a blend of vanilla skin Phlur, a lot of that, but also a good amount of Ariana Grande's Plush Vanilla, a blend of those two. So not as woody as the vanilla skin, but also not as fluffy powdered sugar as Ariana Grande's fragrance, truly a blend of both of those. And I think it really does strike a great balance of both worlds, which is why I like it so much. I like it more than both of those fragrances. Also, the performance on this is way better on my skin than both of those two fragrances that I mentioned. It's an extrait de parfum. I get all day wear. It's lovely on its own or layered with so many different fragrances, an absolute staple. Vanille Blanc. Vanille Blanc, would recommend it all day, every day. Next up, we've got Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. Yeah, I was even slow on Devotion, guys. I can't believe it now because it's such a staple in my summer wardrobe. I love to put this on as a base. It's so addictively good. But I did not get the hype with this one initially. It took me a while to really understand just how addictively good this overall scent profile is. It's going to give you a candied lemon in the opening, not a fresh citrus lemon, right? Not something that is very tarty, but like a cooked lemon slice pie with vanilla and panna cotta and a little bit of booziness, even though it's not really listed in the notes. I swear there is some, but it's so good. It really, really makes me think of Italy. I always use the story because my brain works in stories and people and whatever's when I think about perfume. This to me is you have traveled to Italy and you meet a wonderful grandmother at a bakery. She invites you over for dinner because why the hell not? And when you go over, she makes you lasagna. Yes. After the lasagna, you guys have dessert. And that dessert is a panna cotta with vanilla and these cooked lemon slices on top. But you're also taking shots of booze with the dessert that the Italian grandmother made you. And then as you are stumbling back to your hotel through the little cobble streets, you smell like devotion. Beautiful, beautiful scent from Olivier Cresp. I mean, what does Olivier Cresp make that's not good? I don't know. Phenomenal. If you want a lemony gourmand fragrance, this is definitely one to check out. Victoria by Lattafa is inspired by this one. That one's also nice, but that one is definitely more powdery lemon meringue. This one I think is a little bit darker, a little more boozier, and that's why I like it more than Victoria, to be honest with you. But they're both lovely. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative, Victoria is definitely one that you can check out. But Devotion from Dolce & Gabbana, I'm sorry it took me so long. Next up, we've got a fragrance from Phlur. I'm talking about Missing Person. I can't believe how much I now like this fragrance based off of how much I was so unimpressed with this when I first smelled it. But in fairness to the fragrance, I don't think I gave it a fair shot because I smelled this for the first time when doing a video with my husband where we were testing a Phlur sampler set, and Missing Person was maybe one of the last to second last, third last, I don't know. It was towards the end of the fragrances that we had smelled. So we had smelled a lot of fragrances at that point, and I didn't know anything about any of the fragrances from Phlur. It was my introduction to Phlur, and so I had no idea that this was supposed to be a skin scent until we read about it. And at that point in the test, it was just very, very hard for me to even smell it. It was very, very faint, very, very light. And I was like, what is this? Which I now understand was a combination of the fact that it's a skin scent and intended to be a skin scent, but also I was probably having smell fatigue at that point. But now I totally get why this is so good. This is a fragrance that I like so much that I leave in my car. I should do a separate video on fragrances that I leave in my car, and I probably shouldn't leave them in my car now that it's becoming summertime and getting hotter out there. But I like to keep fragrances in my car when I want to spray something on to go somewhere after, my daily application is probably worn down a bit. I like to keep something in there. And this is one that I have done that with. I don't know if you can even tell from the lid how like beat up and scratched up it is. You might not be able to, but this is one that I feel is so easy to just carry around. I also love the packaging of all of the Phlur perfumes because they're so compact. Even though this is like a 50 milliliter, it just feels very compact and easy to carry. But anyways, this is a gorgeous skin scent kind of fragrance. One of those, are you even wearing a perfume? One of those, you smell like a cozy hug. It's very light, and yes, because it's so in Bronx and heavy, it will be hard for some people to pick up. Some people won't pick it up at all, or some people will need some time to pick it up, or some people need to make sure, like myself, that you didn't just smell 10 perfumes prior before testing it out. But if you can smell it, it's just so likable. It has this feeling of nostalgia in it. It's so comforting and beautiful. And I love the story behind how it was created from the perfumer of Phlur. I forget her name, but I heard that she was tasked with making this fragrance when she was going through a divorce. And this scent, I believe, was supposed to emulate the feeling or smell that you get when you feel like someone is missing that you love. I might be butchering that story, but it's along those lines, and it made me like the fragrance even more. So missing person, beautiful skin scent. If you can't smell it, give it another chance and know that it might just be the Embronxen and those type of musks that can be difficult to pick up at times. And the last fragrance is a fragrance that has taken me years, legitimately years. The other fragrances on this list, some were weeks, some were months. This one was years. And when like at least 5, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm doing the math properly, I'm talking about Guerlain's Mon Guerlain. I remember watching Jeremy Fragrance review this video years and years ago, and I was a steadfast disciple of Jeremy Fragrance, Demi Rawlings, and Redolessence in terms of content that I would consume and learn about when I was younger. And he was raving about this frickin' scent. He said it was the most elegant, beautiful, sophisticated smell ever for a lady. Oh my God, I would marry a woman who... I was like, whoa, I gotta smell this. Went to the store, sprayed it, immediately gagged. And not in the good way, the way that kids say it nowadays. Gagged like, ew, Jeremy, what the hell is this? I thought this was the epitome of an old lady perfume. I was like, I can never trust this man again. We have such different tastes. I can never trust him again. But I recently picked this up again, only so that I could have it available for those who were requesting it in my TikTok shop lives. So of course I had to smell it again. And I was like, okay. Not horrible, but not as bad as I thought. And then I would smell it again, like, okay. It might be good for someone, not for me, but it might be good for someone. And the next thing you know, I'm going to the DMV and I'm just like, I finally get it. This to me smells like a sophisticated woman. Like everything that Jeremy said about that fragrance was 100% accurate. I just was too young. And my taste in perfume was just like Victoria's Secret Bombshell, Pink Sugar, Viva La Juicy. Like I wanted sweet. I just wanted sweet stuff, which is so common with young women in their teenage years or even early 20s. We tend to like really sweet fragrances. And I was not ready for this. The lavender was too much. The vanilla was not gourmand enough for me. I only wanted gourmand vanillas if I didn't smell like a cake. I don't want that kind of vanilla. I was not ready. But now, as someone who is 36, who is a mom, who is a wife, who has a career, who would love to go to bed by 9 p.m., who's not going clubbing out anymore, I totally understand why this is such a beautiful scent. It's such a gorgeous blend of the lavender with the vanilla. It's that Guerlain vanilla. It's not as extravagant as the vanillas in their, the Matier Art Premier line, but it is still a phenomenal vanilla, a beautiful blend of lavender and vanilla that just comes off very elegant. But I would still understand completely if I were to meet someone and they were to say, I don't get the hype around this. It smells like old lady perfume. It's not my vibe. I totally get it. It's the lavender. A lot of people are not going to jive with that type of scent profile. And who knows, maybe they will come around to it. But that's the fun thing about scent, is it's not always just what you smell today, this year, with who you are as a person, is what your overall experience with this scent is going to be. One of my favorite things to do with my fragrances is to just walk down the aisles or the shelves, whatever you want to call them, and just pick things up that I haven't smelled in a while and smell them again and see how I feel about them. And our reaction to scent truly is a journey. And I'm so thankful for that. Otherwise, it would be so boring. Let me know if you've tried any of these. What are some fragrances that you needed some time to come around to? And I will see you back tomorrow for our next episode.